When it comes to impacting the lives of high school girls, Karen Davis has a track record like none other. In 21 seasons at the helm of St. Joseph's Academy in St. Louis, Davis registered over 600 wins and 8 state championships. Many of her players have gone on to earn All-American honors, college scholarships, and their team GPA never dipped below 3.5. She announced her retirement from coaching in February 2015 as a Missouri High School Volleyball Coaches Association Hall of Famer. As influential as she was to her players, she has unselfishly given her time to help her fellow coaches. She served as president of the state's Coaches Association, where maintaining the website, overseeing the rankings, and organizing the annual clinic were just a few of her responsibilities. Many coaches from across the state love to pick her brain on everything from teaching proper passing technique to inspiring girls to become strong young women. Said former assistant and current St. Joseph's Academy head coach Katie Richardson, Karen's devotion and leadership is extraordinary, and no one is more deserving than her to be in the AVCA Hall of Fame. She has made excellence a way of life for her program, her athletes, and herself. The AVCA salutes Karen Davis.
Holy shamoly, I just stood next to Karch Karai receiving an award. I think I had a poster of you on my wall when I was a bit younger. Several months ago, the phone rang at my desk. The caller ID read AVCA. St. Joe would be hosting the AVCA Coaches Clinic as we had done for the past several years, so I picked up the phone and I was all ready to say, I'll transfer you to our new coach who is now doing that clinic. Thank the Lord I did not cut off Kathy DeBoer when she said, congratulations, you've been inducted into the class of 2016 Hall of Fame. I completely froze. Dumbfounded is the word I'll use. There was awkward silence, so Kathy graciously repeated herself. At that moment, all I could muster up was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. My voice was so loud that my office assistant bolted into my room and asked if everything was okay. I quickly gave her the thumbs up, and needless to say, I was and am extremely excited and honored to accept this award. And I share and humbly accept this award on behalf of my school, my players, and my assistant coaches. Thank you to the AVCA, the selection committee, Jostens, and a shout out to Bradley Wilson, who does all of the behind the scenes work, much of it for the AVCA. A huge thank you to my former players, assistant coaches, and coaching mentors, especially Ruth Beardsley, the first coach of the state of Missouri to start a club team, and the first person to encourage me to become a coach. Larry Adams, Barb Dobbs, and Steve Miller, my college coaches and high school coaches. And you might know some of these names: Peggy Martin, Joellen Stringer, Linda Dollar, and Terry Clemens. I was lucky enough to have 4 of the best coaches in the nation right in my home state, and I emulated most everything they did. I could stand here today and tell you that I became a volleyball coach to change the world, to influence young lives, to be a role model, to inspire, etc., 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 but that would be a big fat lie. I started coaching because I was ultra competitive, I liked winning, hated losing, and after college in the early 80s, there were not many options for female athletes to continue to compete and make a little bit of money. Coaching for me was an opportunity to compete. After a couple years of coaching/competing, I was asked to present at a coach's clinic. I'd said I'd love to, and I was asked to send a resume, and they said, oh, by the way, send your coaching philosophy with it. I said, sure, but was thinking to myself, What the hell is a coaching philosophy, and who really has time to write one of those? After accepting the invitation, I enlisted the help of Mr. Webster, you know, the dictionary. PHIL, philosophy, the study of a theoretical basis of a particular branch of knowledge and experience. More confused than ever, I sent in my very short coaching resume and just forgot to send in that coaching philosophy. Just in case the clinic directors did ask, I had something prepared, and it read a little like this. My team comes to practice each day, works hard, works smart, kicks some butt, and has fun. The players and coaches are gracious winners and losers. What I expect is what I'll get, and if you're not early, you are late. If you ask any of my players over at table 19, they will pretty much say that that is my coaching philosophy, and to be real honest, I don't think I've ever formally written it. Yes, my motivation to become a coach was to continue to compete, but along the way something happened, and I would gather to guess that it's happened to most of you, or it will happen to most of you. I realized I was a role model. I was motivating, inspiring, and influencing lives, and I had become a mentor for new coaches. Take a moment to think about the players you have helped shape and mold, not only in the game of volleyball, but most importantly in the game of life. It's not the wins, the losses, the championships that we remember most. It's the relationships and the experiences. It's the notes, the letters, and cards received each year from players thanking us for helping them to become better players, students, and people. It's the many, many players I'm so proud of who are coaching or who have coached, paying forward what has been a passion and love of mine since I was 14 years old, and in my opinion, the best sport that anyone could possibly choose to play and or coach. And just a couple more things before I leave. Once again, congratulations to Kathleen and Joan, and I have to give a shout out to my peeps at tables 19 and 20, people who have driven or flown a long way to celebrate with me. First, my biggest supporter, Steve, who has encouraged my competitive endeavors since we met in college. My sister, Deanne, and brother-in-law, Dave, and my niece, Beth. Faculty members, they'll be very excited that I'm reading their name, Colleen Smith-Yelton, Jen Bish, Allie Landwehr, and Annie Hotop. Athletic Director, Maureen McVeigh, one of the 3 outstanding ADs that I had the pleasure to work with at St. Joe. Sister Marianne Keena and Sister Pat Dumpy, both sisters of St. Joe. You know things are going to roll your way when you have the good sisters cheering in the stands for you. And it was Sister Pat who allowed me to get back into coaching after a previous administration had asked me to step down to become the assistant principal. She covered many, many of my administrative duties. Thank you to my incredible players that are here today representing each decade that I coached, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Patty Bollinger-Earp, class of 1987, Katie Kiefer-Richardson, class of 1999, and Bethany Bezancene, class of 2015. By the way, all 3 of those girls have coached in some capacity. And a special thank you to Katie Kiefer-Richardson, who nominated me for this honor. Words cannot express how rewarding it is to have a former player take over the program. I could have probably coached for several more years, and I still dabble, but being an administrator while coaching was kicking my butt, and I wanted Katie to have the opportunity to be the varsity coach of her alma mater while she was still a young blood. So very proud of the job you're doing. This experience is a memory of a lifetime, and I will cherish it forever. Thank you.